Republican Congressman Mark Alford of Missouri joins me now. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us. I guess, first of all, we know that law enforcement officials briefed members of Congress yesterday about some of the details of that assassination attempt over the weekend. What did you hear from that briefing regarding the shooting that stood out to you?
Well, Jim, thanks for having me on. Yes, I was on that briefing call. It was an off-the-record call, so there's not a lot that I can share with you. I will tell you in generalities, though, Director Cheadle and Director Wray did acknowledge that this was a failure in security, and I believe that Mike Johnson, our speaker, was the one to say that this was the biggest security failure for the Secret Service since Ronald Reagan was shot. They gave us a timeline, a very detailed timeline of what went on, but no real answers. And they said, at this point, we're really not ruling anything out, that we have to continue the investigation and let the facts lead us where they may.
And investigators indicated in this briefing, according to sources who spoke with CNN, that the shooter was searching for information on his devices on both President Biden and former President Trump, including details about the upcoming Democratic convention. Does that mean that some of these accusations that Democratic rhetoric had somehow caused the shooting were off base?
Well, look, I think it is too early to try to determine why this young man was motivated in such an evil way and who also might be behind this. Again, we don't know if there were any accomplices. We don't know if there were any state actors or not behind this. I do know one thing, though, Jim. There are a lot of conspiracy theories floating around. There's a lot of blame being put on different agencies and different people. We've got to find out the facts, and we've got to get that information out as soon as possible so that trust can be rebuilt for the Secret Service and the FBI.
And do you think the Secret Service director should step down?
I do. Look, she acknowledged that this is a failure. She, as the head of the Secret Service, she is basically responsible for this failure, the greatest security failure for the Secret Service since Ronald Reagan was shot. We've got to make sure that our former presidents, our current president, and future presidents are protected.
All right, Congressman Mark Alford, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim.